when you're so overwhelmed, like your brain is not thinking clearly. It is all coming from like that monkey mind. I'm like, baby's not safe. Didn't realize it at the time that it was a lack of having my own space. So I just kept getting overwhelmed. And when my toddler would react, hit the baby, I would just lose it.
Hey, Boss Mama. Welcome back to the show. This is the space where we explore building a business you love, raising your family, and creating a life that works for you. I'm your host, Manushka Elephant, marketing coach and fellow mompreneur. Today's episode is a mix of real talk and radical self-compassion with the lovely Sami Garrett, the founder of Good Enough Matrescence, the online resource library helping moms feel more supported, less triggered, and better equipped for the messy, beautiful journey of motherhood. Sami is a mom of two, a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and a firm believer that motherhood doesn't mean losing yourself. It means rewriting the rules. And we've all been there. Once you become a mom, you don't know that beforehand, but there's going to be that point when all the good intentions that you have are going to be pushed aside because you're just too tired. You're overwhelmed. You're stretched thin. And you're at that point where you just need to be able to breathe, have some time for yourself to reconnect, to be yourself. And Sami has gone through that and she knows that experience all too well. And so in today's conversation, we'll be going deep into what postpartum rage taught her about unmet needs and self-regulation, how to start healing and building emotional resilience, even in the chaos. Her journey from burnout to building a business that feels light, aligned, and human. And why her favorite mantra is, nothing matters, in the most freeing way possible. So if you're a mom, no matter what your journey has been like, this episode is going to be for you because we all go through those stages of being overwhelmed or unsure how to keep going while still showing up for our kids and for our business. So this is your permission slip to pivot, to rest, and redefine success on your own terms. Let's dive in. Hi, Sami. Thank you for joining me on the Hey Boss Mama podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. And I'd love for you to start by introducing yourself and what you do so we get a better understanding of how you're a boss mama and how you make it all work.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mariska. I'm so excited to be here and I love chatting motherhood. This is just perfect. So yes, I'm Sami. I am the founder of Good Enough Matrescence, which essentially is a resource library for moms. We are focused around resources that help you become less triggerable, just more resource in general. Like if we have more education and more, for lack of a better word, resources to help us make better decisions and feel informed about our decisions, then we can come from a much calmer, just better place and be more like showing up as our best selves. So it's pretty much this huge resource library, everything from nervous system regulation to anything that you'd be dealing with in pregnancy, birth, fourth trimester, beyond the fourth trimester, even children, including like parenting, or if you have specific like needs for children, it's pretty much just a big resource library.
It sounds really like there's some of everything in there.
Actually, and that's kind of what I wanted it to be for because I don't know about over there, but here we have to advocate for everything. There's like nothing that's just like, oh, you're pregnant. This is the best nutrition. This is how you should move. This is how you should prepare for the challenges of motherhood ahead and the changes you're going to face. And oh, this is how recovery is going to happen. And oh, if you had gestational diabetes, this is what happened, kind of more. And that's just like for pregnancy. Then you like have the baby and you're like, oh my God, now I'm peeing. Like, what did this mean when I left? And you're all like obese and they're just like, oh, do some Kegels, whatever. And it's just so much more complicated than that. And then it's in postpartum, like the very beginning, like the fourth trimester. If you're experiencing anything like anxiety or depression or rage or just that loss of identity and like trying to figure out motherhood, there's really nowhere to go. You can Google it for sure, and you have 500 million answers, and they're all telling you different things. And then you're more overwhelmed, which isn't helpful when you have a little baby. And again, the doctors, they are just kind of like, you need some support. You're like, okay, cool. Like, what does that mean? So I wanted there to be a place with a bunch of evidence-based resources so that no matter what happened, and we're all in these different seasons, but then we can help each other. Like if for instance, I went through postpartum rage. I could reach out to somebody in this community and be like, this is what I'm dealing with. Can anyone relate? Is anyone going through it? Maybe someone's going through it and we could be like, oh, I'm not alone. Maybe someone went through it 20 years ago and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, this is what helped me, or this did not help me. Or here's a professional that you can go and talk to, just so you have these options. You're not wasting a bunch of time trying to figure them out when you're a mom. And then on top of that, like if you are a business owner as well, like where do you have the time to do any of these things? It's pretty new. I had the idea last year at the end of the year when I was coming out of uh, the survival mode with my second. I had my second and then had a decent spout of postpartum rage. And then that was when I realized that I needed resources and I needed help and I needed just more support. And so in my healing process, I was like, I've done all this research. I want a place to put all of it and grow upon it for more people too. So that's essentially how it came to be.
Oh, that's wonderful. And there's a few things I want to touch on and bounce from what you said. Yes, we have a lot of information, but also very little at the same time. We're in just a weird time because there's so much stuff online. We need to be so selective of what information we go through. First of all, because otherwise we would end up with all the different diseases available for pregnant women and children and all of that, right? And personally, like I remember when I was pregnant, I was really, really selective. I was looking for things that were more about natural birth and like gentle parenting, but also like things that just resonated with my values and all of that. But I find that there's like a big parallel here between, like you said, when we're a mom and an entrepreneur, is that we're very isolated. And so we need people that we can speak with. But even if we have our family around, our partner, they don't understand what we're going through because they're not living it.
Exactly.
And even our parents, like I remember my mom, she didn't understand why I would cry sometimes. She was like, what is wrong with you? Like, you should be so happy. You're pregnant. You're having the baby of your dreams. And I was like, yeah, but I'm just like really sad right now. And I would just cry and just, so yeah, even some women who'd have done it 40 years before, they don't necessarily remember what it was like at the time, or they had a very different experience. Well, a lot of the things that happened that first year with my son, I don't really remember anymore because I was just so tired.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to bounce also on you mentioned postpartum rage. So I'm not familiar with that one. I know postpartum depression, but what is rage? Can you explain that?
Yeah. So it's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a rage, like just this overwhelming sensation in your body where you just want to scream, want to throw things. And a lot of it stems from lack of control and a lack of support. Most of it stems from a lack of support, which is why I think I experienced it my second time around. Because when I had my first, babies nap. I did not have another toddler I had to take care of. So when she napped, I could read a book. I could just sit and meditate. I could just do things for myself. And with one child, I felt like it was a lot easier too. I'd go outside all the time. We'd go hiking, we'd go cross country skiing, we'd be doing all this stuff. With one kid, it was so much easier. And then I did experience like the whole mental like identity shift and all that every mother goes through when they have a baby. I never was like, how could anybody want to hurt their innocent baby? How could anyone want to like how could anyone yell at this baby that's crying for 3 hours? Like, I did not understand because it didn't bother me. I mean, yeah, it annoyed me a little bit, like some of those crying 3 a.m. stuff. But for the most part, I'm like, oh, cute little baby's crying. Like, this won't last forever. Like, I handled that really well. Then I had two, and I lost that time. There was no time for myself. Naps were on opposite schedules. It was just not even go. It was just, I did not have me time at all. Like, barely showered. I mean, I have like no better words for it except that I completely lost all of my me time. And I very much am a person that needs a lot of it. I need a lot of quiet time to myself, a lot of me time. So with two, it was really challenging. There was just no time, and they never napped at the same time, ever. So there was always a child to be looking after, and that just started to build. Unfortunately, we live in a very small town. We do have a fun, but they also have kids and they also work and they also have lives and like can't just drop everything to be like, I'll come and watch the kids while you shower or, I'll do the dishes or whatever it is. So some moms do have like the anxiety or the depression. And I want to say the rage falls into, I can't remember if it falls into anxiety or depression. It falls into one of them. It's like a subcategory of it. But so for me, it portrayed itself in like this rage, and like the biggest triggers were when my toddler was having feelings, of course, because we just rocked her world. We went from a family of three, everything was about her, to all of a sudden this baby that needs everything. And we tried our best to, to still give her attention, but at the same time, like you can't deny, like the baby, like does require more attention. And I knew there's so much change in the first 9 months with crawling and walking, and I had 2 early walkers. So with each of those changes, my toddler was having a hard time too, adjusting to all of them. So, and then I was having a hard time because didn't realize it at the time that it was a lack of having my own space. So I just kept getting overwhelmed. And when my toddler would react and like hit the baby, I would just lose it. So yeah, my toddler is hitting the baby, and I am just so angry that I was not a yeller. I was more of, I swore. I definitely swore, but it wasn't like, I probably shouldn't swear in this, but it wasn't like loud swearing, yelling. It was just more like something which happened in my, I like threw a few like swear words under my breath. That I would also, if there were things around me, I would like throw them. So I never like broke any windows or anything, but I definitely like were throwing things. And it kind of started that way, just like this frustration that I couldn't get out. I had no outlet for this frustration. But then like morphed itself to where when my toddler, she would just come up for no, I mean, there was a reason. But in my mind, being overwhelmed, there's no reason for this toddler to come up and just straight up smack her sister. And I know, like, in a calm, clear state, I know she is adjusting to having a baby. She's having her own big feelings. And we very much are in the gentle parenting realm as well, of like understanding and trying to be led in that aspect. But when you're so overwhelmed, like your brain is not thinking clearly. It is all coming from like that monkey mind, that emotional, like be safe. And in that second, I'm like, baby's not safe. So there was one time she came over, she straight up smacked her when she was in her bassinet, and I went and like blocked her, and I blocked her a little too hard to where she fell backward and she hit the fridge. And I stopped and I was like, oh my God, like this is starting to become a problem. Like I can't, I couldn't, it was horrible. I felt like the worst human in the whole world. And there had been a couple of instances similar to that where like I would grab her to pull her off her sister, and I would grab a little too hard to where I knew I would like, this is a little too hard. And just again, felt terrible because I had done all this research. I was so prepared to be this gentle parent, this very intentional parent, this conscious parent, read all the books, knew all the practices, felt confident and comfortable in all of that until I got to this overwhelmed state. And then on top of that, like I came from a very rocky background, and I was like, I cannot be what my parents were.
What you were saying is really powerful, and I can only imagine what you're going through because this is not the kind of mom you want to be. Like there's something that's the ideal of how you want to be present for your kids, and then the reality is that you're not able to give that at that moment. So how did you get through that?
I realized that I did not want to be this mom, and I was like, I'm not going to be this anymore. And I used a few different modalities, I guess. So I figured out, what is it? Like, why am I doing this? What's the root cause of this? And it came out that I lost my alone time. I didn't have any more alone time at all. I had no time for myself at all, not even 5 minutes alone, because we also co-sleep. So it's not even like when I'm in bed, I have time by myself. So I talked to my husband and I was like, this is how I'm feeling. He clearly could see it too and was like, absolutely, like we need to do something. So we set up this game plan of when he got to work, I would go away for like at least a half an hour to an hour and a half. Just it kind of depended on what the day and the schedule and stuff, but I would for sure at least get a half an hour a day to go and do something on my own. That helped a lot. And in doing, I was then able to sit and do some more like inner child healing and reparenting on myself, and just really some active meditation into changing my own behaviors and how I reacted, because clearly during the day, there were still going to be those same issues. The toddler is still going to have big feelings, and she's still going to hit her sister, or that was pretty much mainly it. Because the crying still never really bothered me. It was that one aspect of trying to manage everyone's emotion. So I did a lot of just, oh, am I going to reframe this? How am I going to like step into this new person that is it's going to react differently. And so I did a lot of visualizing of how that was going to happen. And that's pretty much, I mean, it was a little bit of a journey. It probably was a 4 to 6 month journey before I was completely like out of it to where now, I mean, she still hits her sister. Now her sister also hits that because they're close to 2 and 4. But like obviously the emotions are still there. They're still small human. But now I'm fully able to come from a place of clarity. Yes, it still annoys me that like they're hitting each other, but I'm not angry about it anymore. I'm not like swearing and throwing stuff. And so yeah, it took like 4 to 6 months, but a lot of that was just the reframing and changing my attitude on how my reactions and that inner healing of
That's huge. And it really goes back to like the importance of self-care because having that time where we can just take a pause, take a breath and recenter on ourselves, it's
yeah,
priceless.
yeah,
And if we don't have that, then yes, I mean, especially with the lack of sleep, that was for me a big one. We can't provide if we're depleted.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
the quickest way to get to a burnout too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what was so challenging at first with the rage part is because with overwhelm, it starts to build and you can feel it build. And then there's another step that's like, okay, it's getting heavier. Or with like depression, you're like, I'm kind of bad. And it was scary for me, the rage, because there was no building. I mean, I'm sure it probably built and I didn't realize it, but there was no building. All of a sudden, sister hit sister, mom explodes. There wasn't like okay, let's take a breath. So I had to learn how to like stop and take that breath so that I didn't react. And I think that's where it gets kind of challenging. But yeah, the lack of sleep, like there are certain things out of your control. That was another thing I had to realize, like I couldn't control everything. Before you have kids, like I mean, you can't control everything, but you can control a lot of your life. And then you have kids and you're like, okay, well, game's over.
Don't say it like that.
It's not completely over, but we can't control our kids and they have feelings and it's just more family.
Hey, boss mama, quick question. Do you ever feel like you're juggling all the things but still not making the progress you want in your business? Trust me, I get it. That's exactly why I created the Hey Boss Mama Mastermind. Imagine having a group of ambitious, supportive mompreneurs cheering you on, helping you crush overwhelm and reach your goals. This is your space to set clear priorities, stay accountable, and take your business to the next level. Ready to join us? So save your spot now. Head to heybossmama.com/mastermind. But at the same time, so you went through that whole big thing, and that was like, I guess, about 2 years ago. Now, a year ago, you started your business. Last year. Okay, so right off of that, you started Matrescence.
So as soon as my daughter turned 1 in November last year, and so it was about November this last year. It took me, I would say, when she was like 8 to 9 months old, is when I was like really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and like coming out of that like survival and the rage and all of that. So once I came out of it, yeah, exactly after it, I had done all this research. I had done all this mental prep, I had all this nervous system regulation, like learned all this stuff and was like, I need to put it in a place so that I can share it. Cause I have a lot of friends that have reached out to me to be like, tell me about this or tell me about that. Not necessarily all nervous system regulation, but like we cloth paper, like how do you wash them? We did this, like what are the clean products? We want to switch our shampoo. Like when I'm just throwing out examples now, like what are you using? So I had all of these like resources and I was like, I need to just put them in one place because I was starting to get tired of spending 2 hours writing an email about our process in washing these cloth diapers and like what exactly we did to actually get them clean, like in all of our troubleshooting and all of that. And I was like, I just need to put them in one place. So then I got to thinking like, if I'm struggling, I know I'm not the only one struggling. I think it would be really cool to have a community, a place where moms could get together and we could just be like, I am so angry right now, or my baby won't stop crying and I just want to throw them. I'm not going to throw them, but I want to throw them. And that doesn't make you a bad mom for having that thought. Or just all these like real raw things that we are feeling, but we're afraid to say in public because we're afraid like our children will get taken away. So I wanted a space where we could all connect over that and just chat about things. But how are you handling sleep? Like whatever, all the things, talk about it as a community, but then have a whole resource section too and dive into all of the things that we deal with. And obviously I'm not a professional in every realm. So then I bring on guest experts that can come on and talk about like pelvic floor health or menstrual health or how to deal with kids with neurodiversities, or if you have a neurodiversity or, all these things. Let's bring on a therapist to talk about gentle parenting when you have a highly emotional child. So we can have all of these resources in one place that are like tested, more evidence based, and then we can do what feels good for us. Cause like how you do things is different, how I'll do things. But maybe there's an overlap. Maybe we'll learn something, but just having those options, I think we just don't have. We don't have those resources. It's all about go, go, go. And then if you're working, it's like you need to be a good working parent. And if you're a good working parent, you're a bad mom. But if you're just a mom and not working, then, oh, you're not a good woman, just all of the things. So we just wanted that loving, non judgmental community.
Yeah, and it's like similar to why I started Hey Boss Mama is like I realized I'm not the only one in this situation. Like and actually something that I thought was really funny when I was asking around with friends and people who've already gone through that not that long ago, I found that there's really two different reactions. There are the ones that are super happy to share information, and I'm one of these, who are like, this is what I did. Like, this is all the steps. This is my birth plan. And then you have the people who are like, oh, it's really up to you. Like, they're scared of giving advice because they're like, no, 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 you have to figure out your path.
Yeah.
But when I started Hey Boss Mama, I was like, I need a community. Like, I feel isolated and no, like, I'm going to be discovering all kinds of things. I want to have those conversations and I want to be able to share them with others. And so that's how it came about, basically.
I love.
But I was checking out your Instagram because I thought there was a lot of cool stuff there. And so you have something about what's your mantra again?
Pretty much like, can I swear? I won't swear. Nothing effing matters is pretty much.
And I feel like this is so good right now in my stage of motherhood and business because if I gave a damn about everything like I used to, I wouldn't accomplish anything. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I swear, like, if you could just go to bed feeling like you did the best you can with the resources that you had and you feel good about it, then that's great. But really, at the end of the day, the sun's coming up tomorrow. The sun does not care if you paid your bills, if you didn't pay your bills, if you're a good mom, if you're a bad mom, like, doesn't care. I guess it turns to like what really matters for you and your perspective because that's I guess all that matters, but at the same time, nothing really matters. So do what's good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. These days, I'm also in the mindset of that. Just get it done. It doesn't need to be perfect.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. And it doesn't,
That's just
it's perfect.
like getting a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah. Just do it. Doesn't matter if it's perfect. Yeah. And it's probably like it's us. We're the only ones that really care. No one else.
Exactly. And so tell me a bit more about the technical aspects for setting up your business and everything. How did you find the time since it's such a like expensive commodity?
Yes, it is the most expensive commodity. So I'm kind of weird in the sense that I very much like a slow pace, like life, if that makes sense. Like, I don't like to be super busy. I really like to just take things slower. But when I find something that I really, really like or that I'm passionate about, I could stay up for like 72 hours straight and just get it done. So in this process, I became really passionate about getting all of these resources out to moms. So in that time, for like me, when my husband got off of work, this became my me time. I was pouring my energy into doing the website. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. 'Cause as you know, like there's can be a lot of moving parts in business. So I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Same idea, like nothing really matters. So I just need to get it out there, just start it. I can make it better later, but I just need to like get it out, get the resources out. They don't have to be beautiful. Who cares about the graphics right now? Like just get it up. So I kept it really simple on Squarespace. Is how I'm running everything, the platform and everything. It allowed me to do everything from like the emails to the website, the membership, everything is housed there. So I don't have to have all these different moving parts. And then I just sat there one of the days and I was like, how do I want to run this so that I get excited to show up? Because again, if I have to every single day, like hop on a call, or if I wasn't about to tell someone that there was going to be content loaded every week, because there are some weeks that I just am not going to get to it, but I can commit to a new content every. That's easy to commit to. So I made sure that I was laying it out in a way that I could be excited about it and successful about it, and to where the members knew what to expect and also could get excited about it too. But yeah, I just try to keep it super simple. So like everything is on Squarespace and then it connects to Stripe for the payments. So I think those are like, I'm trying to think if there's like, I'm sure there's probably some other little thing. I guess Google, to pay for like the email address that has your name attached to it. But I think those are really the only moving parts of the business. And then all the content is housed within the membership in Squarespace. All of my guest experts that come on are in there. I guess Zoom. I pay for Zoom because we do Zoom. Oh, and Slack, because Slack is where we house our community. Slack actually lets us like to people. Squarespace doesn't let you like interact with people. So yeah, those are all the moving parts. And I just try to keep it really, really simple.
And that's the key word here, like flexibility and simplicity so that you're able to achieve your objectives, not making it overly complicated or beautiful, because that's all fluff. What matters really is it's the content and that you're able to get the needle moving.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like no one cares. None of the members care if there's a pretty picture attached to the information they're looking for. They just want the information. They want to make an informed decision.
Exactly. And you can make it nicer later. So, last question. At some point in the future, what do you wish your daughters would say about you?
My gosh, this is such a hard question. Okay. There's so many thoughts. There's so many things. What I wish they would say about is that I wasn't perfect, but I always repaired. And I had a have, not had, I have, I'm still alive, a very strong relationship with them. And I want them to know that they can come to me for anything. I'm not going to judge them and that we're not perfect and that I kept trying and I pivoted when I needed to pivot. I rested when I needed to rest. I did everything that was good for me. And in doing so, showed them that they are now living their life for themselves also. Yeah, I think that's a big one.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. That was a beautiful answer.
Oh, thank you.
So, now tell us where everyone can know more about Good Enough Matrescence and connect with you.
Yeah. So pretty much Instagram, it's at Good Enough Matrescence. And then our website is Good Enough Matrescence.
I'll have all the links and then the show notes so people can find you easily.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Because matrescence is kind of a weird word. It's not like an easy one to be like, oh, yeah, let me just spell that out really quick.
Thank you so much for joining me. I had a really good time with you.
Me too. Thank you so much. It was so nice chatting with you.
Wow. I just want to take this moment to thank Sami for her honesty, her humor, and that much needed reminder that we don't have to be perfect to be powerful and to be incredible moms. Whether you're navigating toddler meltdowns, pivoting your business, or just trying to remember the last time you had 5 minutes alone, I hope this episode helped you feel seen. I just find it incredible how both motherhood and entrepreneurship can be such lonely experiences and experiences where we need support, and it's not easy to just go at it by ourselves. That's also why I decided to create Hey Boss Mama, because I wanted to help myself and other moms have more clarity, more calm, and more joy in our business journeys. So that's why I'm also offering one-on-one coaching. You can check it out at heybossmama.com/coaching. And I just love to support you in building a business that fits your life and not the other way around. Of course, go follow Sami and check out the incredible resource library she's created at Good Enough Matrescence. Until next time, Boss Mama, you've got this.